Okay, hello, this is Elder Godbrandon coming at you. I'll be doing of the He-Man and the Masters of the Universe series from the original 1980-something, 1983 according to Wikipedia, all the way up to the 2002 remake, the movie with Dolph Lundgren, and even some possibilities of the future that may be being worked on. This is one I grew up in the 80s. This is one of my favorite series, and then I will also be doing another review of the She-Ra series, which is a spin-off of this one. He-Man, he's a heroic character that was featured in the Masters of the Universe franchise. Most variations of his alter ego are the same. The Prince Adam, who turns into He-Man using a magical sword. He also has a twin sister who turns into She-Ra, but I'll get to that later. He-Man is set on this faraway planet in a galaxy far, far away, named Eternia, where he battles the forces of evil for control of the magical powers within this ancient castle called Castle Grayskull, which this sorceress helps defend. And to do this, she granted this Prince Adam, which it never states in the original 80s version how he got his powers exactly, but the sorceress gives Prince Adam, in both versions I guess, his power to turn into He-Man using the magical sword to defend against the evil forces of Skeletor, the secrets of Castle Grayskull. There was a small DC Comics version of this, and I think Marvel did its version of it too. It was created by it's based on a toy line that was created by Mattel. In the early mini comics that were released, based on the first series of toys, He-Man was kind of this barbarian type character from an Eternian tribe, which were the planet's inhabitants, and dealing with the aftermath of these great wars. An early incarnation of the sorceress of Castle Grayskull gives He-Man some of these weapons, such as an axe and a sword, which he never has the axe in the TV series, to my knowledge, at least not until the 2002 version. He-Man and Skeletor actually united their power sword halves to form the true power sword in order to defeat a common enemy in the comic books. This never happens in the TV series, though. Let's see. The 1983, by the time the animated series was being developed for the 1983 series, He-Man's origins had been revised as follows. His true identity is Prince Adam of Eternia, son of the king and queen, who rule planet Eternia, along with Adam and the rest of the Inner Circle. The sorceress of Castle Grayskull gave Prince Adam the power to transform into He-Man, which Adam does by raising his sword and proclaiming, "By the power of Grayskull!" And he transforms into He-Man. Once it's complete, he holds out the sword and says, "I have the power," and then points it at his traveling companion, a very cowardly tiger, who becomes this brave, big, badass tiger with battle armor called Battle Cat, which he rides on sometimes to help him in his battle against evil. That's Prince Adam's pet, a cowardly green tiger named Cringer. So, properly named, I might say. My dad. Adam becomes He-Man, and he similarly transforms Cringer into the brave armored Battle Cat, as I said. Adam is friendly with the beautiful, strong-willed Teela, who is the adopted daughter of his mentor, Man-at-Arms, also known as Duncan to most of the cast and to children who watch this in the 80s. Not that we cared about alter egos, we mostly cared about the action fight sequences, good versus evil, the whole thing. We didn't really care about the moral lessons they tried to point out at the end of every episode, which some cartoons nowadays try to imitate that, but they don't do it very well. Adam and Teela grew up together, and she's the captain of the guards in this, and she often sees Adam as lazy and cowardly because she's unaware that he's actually He-Man. The spin-off cartoon series, which was She-Ra, later revealed that Adam had a twin sister, Princess Adora, who is the leader of the Great Rebellion against Hordak on planet Etheria. We get into that in the movie The Secret of the Sword, which was later turned into the first 5 episodes of that TV series. He-Man's chief adversary in this series is Skeletor. He's a blue-skinned sorcerer, which, in the originals, they never explained his origins at all. He was just automatically there from the very first episode, first time you see him, clear up until the very last episode that they just left it hanging, I guess because of the movie. I don't know exact details on that. But he's this blue-skinned sorcerer with a skull for a head. I mean, how scary could that be as a kid seeing this guy with a skull? And it's like, oh my god, where's his skin? But yeah, he's skilled in black magic as well as some forms of combat in which him and He-Man clash swords and kind of go at it. This was greatly improved in the 2002 version. We actually see the origin of Skeletor, and we get to see more of a dark version. The sword design in the 2002 series is what sort of half-ass killed the series early, because a lot of fans were disappointed. They weren't so much disappointed in the design, because the design and the art of the 2000 series were really good and fairly decent for an updated version. It's just the sword design that ruined it, because they completely turned what didn't need to be messed with. The sword was fine in the original the way it was, and most fans liked the sword. And they changed it to where it kind of transforms along with Adam. He has several minions that serve him in the original series and throughout the 2002 series. There's Beastman, which is not enough said about him. He's kind of a stupid guy. He can control beasts. He helps Skeletor do various things here and there. There's Evil Lyn, his second in command, Skeletor's second in command. She's a sorceress of dark magic who has her own motives, I guess, for serving Skeletor other than just being loyal. There's one episode where she works together with Teela where you think she might actually turn good, and it would have been cool if she had. Never happens. There is also Merman, who controls the seas, I guess, or some kind of evil master of the seas. There's, I can't remember his name, like Tri-Beam or Triclops or something. He has like multiple eyes that he fires stuff out of one of them. Then there's later on the Serpent Men show up. They weren't in the original 80s version, but they were in the they were added for the 2002 version. I don't think they were actually in the 80s version. If they were, I'd have to go back and actually rewatch it. Overall, the animation style was really good. I mean, a lot of people think it's kind of, they say it's kind of stupid because, and well, I'll just say that they call Adam rather, well, I can't say it without insulting someone, but let's just say they didn't like him. A lot of people don't like him nowadays because he wears that pink shirt, and, well, man wearing pink. But hey, pink is the new black, they say. But, yeah, anyway, he has trouble. The series, and both series have one thing in common. Adam kind of has trouble dealing with his double identity. He wants to tell Teela and his mother and father that he's He-Man and that he's the savior of the planet and all this, but he can't because it would put them in danger, as any superhero obviously has that in common. Let's see, what else is there to say about this? There was a 1987 film called Masters of the Universe made by Canon Films. It was a live-action adaptation of the TV series. It starred Dolph Lundgren as He-Man. And there was it was a commercial failure at the cinema. I mean, in this film, Prince Adam is not seen at all. Only He-Man is shown through the whole thing. He-Man was much more aggressive than he was in the 1980s TV series counterpart. He was attacking with lasers, his sword, and bare fists several times throughout the movie. The film ends with a spectacular and violent clash with Skeletor, which people love, which ended with Skeletor being flung into the depths of Castle Grayskull to a pit filled with steaming liquid. The film ended with an after-credit scene with Skeletor emerging from the liquid and proclaiming, "I'll be back," which I guess was supposed to be a sequel, and there was a sequel planned, but it never got made. In 1990, they attempted to revive the series before the 2002 series revival, called The New Adventures of He-Man, in which, after the demise of the Masters of the Universe toy line, Mattel attempted to reinvigorate interest in He-Man by producing a new toy line simply titled He-Man. The accompanying storyline in the mini-comics packaged with the figures explained that He-Man had now left Eternia and pursued Skeletor into the depths of space. Skeletor had now set his sights on conquering a distant world of Primus, technologically advanced, more advanced than Eternia, I guess, planet. Anyway, He-Man's appearance was redesigned for the new toy line, with a space helmet, golden armor added to his. Basically, it just wasn't He-Man. The cartoon, his transformation oath even altered slightly from the original. Just didn't do. I mean, by the power of Eternia, it just doesn't do it for me. I don't. Anyway, to tie in with the new line of revamped action figures based upon the original toy line, a new He-Man cartoon was produced in 2002 and 2003. Again, titled He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. This series retold the Masters of the Universe story from the very beginning, as I said. He-Man's origins was told in a 90-minute episode that began the series, in which the 16-year-old Prince Adam is summoned to cast Grayskull, and the Sorceress gives him his powers. We also see the origin of Skeletor in this. And later on, we find out that He-Man is a descendant of King Grayskull, who is apparently the original ruler of Eternia and helped defeat the evil Horde, which was supposed to tie into a remake of She-Ra that never got made. Masters of the Universe Classics basically is just a line of toys that was made in 2009. I couldn't find any images of them to show off. I've been looking, but they're really rare. It was basically a revamp of the old toy line with a few added characters here and there. The actors who have played He-Man in the 1980 series, He-Man is voiced by John Irwin. In the 1987 live-action film, he is played by Dolph Lundgren. Gary Chalk provides the voice of He-Man in the 1989 series, The New Adventures of He-Man. 1989, and the later voice of Man-at-Arms for the 2002 series. He does not provide the voice of Prince Adam. Adam is instead voiced by Doug Parker, unlike the 1983 and 2002 series, where Adam and He-Man were voiced by the same actor in 2002 series. He-Man is voiced by Cam Clark in the New Adventures of He-Man. His powers and abilities are, He-Man is characterized by possessing superhuman strength. In the intro sequence of the 1980s cartoon, he claims to be the most powerful man in the universe. He-Man's strength is derived from the magical powers of Castle Grayskull. It is unknown if there is a limit to how long He-Man can remain He-Man before he reverts back into his original Adam form, but in the 2002 series, He-Man is shown enduring the brunt of the Ramstone of Zalazia, a gem whose mystic force can pierce any barrier or topple any obstruction. He survives, but reverts back to Prince Adam in the process. Also, when in combat against the snake god, Serpos, which, like I said, Snake did come in later, He-Man was struck by the giant entity's tail and sent crashing into a mountain. When he fell to the ground, he was again in Adam's form. This suggests that even He-Man has a limit to how much abuse he can endure before his superhuman strength and stamina are exhausted. Anyway, the redesign of He-Man for the 2002 series was okay, but could have been better. At least it was a big difference. You could tell the difference between Adam and He-Man in it. Unlike the original, where there wasn't much of a difference between Adam and He-Man other than slight skin tone change, the hair changed a little bit, the hair color changed, he got more muscular, he lost the pink shirt and the white shirt, and tell that they were the exact same person. Whereas in the 2002 version, you could tell that there was you couldn't tell them apart. You could tell them apart. I mean, you could tell He-Man was He-Man and Adam was Adam, and you could hardly tell that they were the same person, other than maybe the little instances in their facial features, because the transformation was so drastic that I think they did that on purpose so that people could actually not tell them apart so easily. Or could tell them apart, rather. Excuse me.